I get it, you're looking at a 65-inch screen and wondering if it's worth turning your living room or office into a mini home theater or a digital signage hub. And you don't want to end up with something that looks great on paper but feels like a money sink once you hook it up. That hesitation is real, especially when the price tag climbs into the four-figure range and you're juggling where the cable runs will go, how bright the picture needs to be, and whether the software will actually make content management any easier. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's break down the LG 65UL3QE the way you'd explain it to a friend over coffee. This is a 65-inch 4K UHD display built for signage, but it's also marketed as a high-performance TV with webOS 6.1 baked in. The first thing I asked myself was, does this actually behave like a TV you can watch Netflix on, or is it strictly a commercial-grade sign? The answer is a mix of both. The panel delivers 3840x2160 resolution, which means you get that crisp, pixel-perfect clarity that makes text and graphics look sharp from a distance. In a retail environment, that's a big win because customers can read product details without squinting, and in a home theater setup you'll notice the fine detail on high-budget movies. The typical brightness is 350 nits, enough to punch through most indoor lighting, though you'll still want to avoid placing it opposite a window on a sunny afternoon if you expect a perfectly washed-out picture. One of the hidden trade-offs that only shows up after you actually mount the thing is the tilt and face-up/face-down mechanism. LG designed the UL3QE with a swivel that lets you tilt the panel up to about 20 degrees and even flip it forward a bit for cleaning. In practice, that works well if you're installing it on a wall that isn't perfectly level. You can nudge it into a comfortable viewing angle without needing a separate tilt bracket. The downside is that the pivot isn't as fluid as a dedicated professional signage mount, so you'll feel a little resistance when you try to angle it dramatically. If you need a screen that you'll be rotating daily for different events, you might find the movement a bit stiff. Now, let's talk software because that's where the high-performance claim gets tested. The monitor runs webOS 6.1, LG's smart TV platform that's been evolving for years. In the context of a signage display, webOS gives you access to an app store with a handful of content-playing apps, a built-in browser, and the ability to schedule playlists if you're using LG's free signage software. I've spent a couple of evenings setting up a demo playlist of YouTube videos, a looping Instagram feed, and a PowerPoint slideshow, and the transition between sources was seamless. The remote feels familiar, and you can also control it via a smartphone app, which is handy when the screen is mounted high up. The catch, however, is that webOS isn't as open as a dedicated Android-based signage system. You can't sideload a custom HTML5 player without some workarounds, and the app selection leans more toward consumer entertainment than enterprise-grade signage tools. So if you're a small business owner who just needs to display a menu board or a gallery of product images, the built-in tools will cover you. If you're a large venue looking for deep integration with a content management platform, you may end up buying a separate media player and using the monitor just as a display. Security is another angle that's quietly built in. The UL3QE supports enhanced security protocols like password protection for settings, network authentication, and a secure boot process. For a storefront or an office lobby, that means you can lock down the screen so a passerby can't accidentally change the input source or mess with the brightness while you're away. In a home environment, you probably won't touch those settings, but it does give you peace of mind if you ever let the kids play with the remote. Who should buy this? First, businesses that need a big, bright canvas for static or looping content and want a device that can double as a TV for staff break rooms. Think coffee shops that want to showcase a rotating menu, a gym that needs a high-resolution workout video wall, or a corporate lobby where you want a sleek screen for announcements without the hassle of a separate PC. It also makes sense for creators who already have a content workflow on a laptop and just need a large, 4K output that can be wall-mounted. Because the panel is calibrated for commercial use, you'll see consistent colors over long hours, which is something a regular TV might drift on. Who should skip it? If you're hunting for a pure home theater experience, especially in a bright living room, the 350 nit brightness may feel a touch underpowered compared to high-end OLEDs that push 1000 nits. Also, if you're a tech-savvy signage operator who relies on custom HTML5 players, third-party APIs, or wants a full Android